In this final lecture of Domain 2, we are going to go over some final considerations with regards to team structure. We are going to discuss structural considerations. We are going to look at privacy leader titles, what is common and less common throughout the profession. And we will conclude by talking about the skills and education that many privacy professionals share. With regards to structural considerations, again, what you see here, a lot of this is going to be contingent on your organization. What industry, what sector, what jurisdiction are you in? Are you in a small, medium, or large organization? Is it a global organization? And at the time of joining the team, was there already a privacy team present? Did it grow organically, or was it very intentionally constructed? Some general considerations are the organization's structure and hierarchy, such as I just mentioned, again, small, medium, large. What's the sector? What industry? What are the jurisdictions? As we've mentioned before, and certainly as you'll see throughout the rest of the course, it is important that you document and disseminate the various roles and responsibilities, not only for the folks that are part of the main privacy team, but all of those individuals that play supporting roles throughout the organization. Perhaps more important than determining the role is determining how those roles are going to be evaluated. And so later in the course, for example, we're going to be talking about metrics and how we can use metrics to measure, track, and improve privacy's performance. It's important that your organization is flexible, and depending on the level of success that your privacy team has, you may consider reorganizing the team or where it's located throughout the organization. You also want to consider how you're going to serve your customers, both internal customers and external customers. And so, for example, if one of the services that the privacy team provides to the larger organization is privacy impact assessments, then how do stakeholders throughout the organization go about getting in touch with the privacy team to let them know that a PIA needs to be conducted? And I imagine there are going to be a large number of other services that privacy would provide. And so how do these individuals establish contact with privacy? And then how is your team going to prioritize and respond to those? And one such example that may help with all of that would be a help desk. And so there's a privacy portal that folks go to. They input their name, the office, and the service that they need. And then, of course, there's going to be a help desk or platform that's going to help prioritize and triage all of those services for you. Finally, it's important that the privacy team is very intentional about communicating both internally and externally the value that it adds to the organization. Now, that can be to the organization in the sense of limiting risk liability. It could also be to your consumers, to individuals that are paying for the product or services that your organization provides. And you may even consider the value add that your organization or that your privacy team contributes to the larger privacy community at large. Again, depending on the type of organization that you're in, the titles that you will see that folks on your team may be referred to or throughout your industry are going to vary. It is very common to see the words privacy, chief, and officer used, especially in the United States. It is less common, but you will see folks being referred to as counsel, director, or global. For example, Global Director of Privacy. And again, in the United States, words such as privacy, VP, and director are common, whereas in the European Union, using data protection in place of privacy is common as well. The last slide here concerns the skills and education that we're seeing more prominently throughout the privacy profession. It is very common, for example, for folks in privacy to have a legal background. For example, they went to law school and earned a JD. A legal background, however, is not necessary. Of growing importance throughout the profession is project management skills, the capacity to implement and assess controls, risk management, information security background, and more now we're seeing folks also with an artificial intelligence background. And so, as you can see here, privacy is certainly an interdisciplinary profession. And I think as folks come to realize how important an IT background and IT skills is in privacy and data protection, the more we're starting to see folks that are not explicitly trained as lawyers breaking into the field. Again, the type of skills and education that you see is largely going to be shaped by the industry or the organization in which the privacy team lives. Of course, certifications are extremely important in demonstrating a solid understanding of privacy law, information technology, artificial intelligence, etc. The IAPP is, by and large, the most well-known organization providing privacy certification. And two other important organizations are ISACA and ISC2. ISACA does more auditing, control, implementation, and assessment, and ISC2 is for cybersecurity professionals. But again, as the interdisciplinary nature of privacy increases, we're starting to see folks from all types of communities come together in the privacy field. And finally, it's very common for individuals to participate in different conferences. Of course, the IAPP puts on the most well-known and well-attended of the privacy conferences. In this lecture, we have concluded Domain 2. We looked at structural considerations, which include your organization's structure and hierarchy, documenting and disseminating roles and responsibilities, determining role and evaluation methods, having a flexible organization that is capable of reorganizing when necessary, considering how to serve your customers and your team's value add. Common words that you'll see in privacy leader titles include privacy chief and officer. Less common are counsel, director, and global. And finally, with regards to skills and education, a legal background is common but not necessary. Of growing importance, especially recently, are project management, control, implementation, and assessment, risk management, and information security. Of course, the skills and education required by a particular position are going to be shaped in large part by the industry and the privacy team's placement within the organization. And in addition to skills and education, having certifications such as those issued by the IAPP and participating in conference is also very important to professional development.